that perhaps we didn't keep last year and feel that we have to roll them over this year. We will also learn about levels of consciousness that get in our way from being a better us. And we will also begin to embrace the power of silence and the beauty of love that the soul can experience in meditation. But before we go into further discussions and conversations and exercises and workshops, my very good friend is with us today. Madam Harriet Fulbright is what they officially call her. She's just my buddy. But today we have the fortune of having Madame Fulbright with us, who has got an incredible profile from being um, the director of Arts and Humanities for the Clinton administration to being the president of the Fulbright College to being a holder of many doctorate degrees from many universities, a world traveler, but more than anything else, Harriet is very passionate about the arts. And she's also very passionate about peace in the world. And I've asked Harriet to come up and say hello to all of you and to basically share the deep meaning of a resolution and how best we can approach this year with that understanding. I'm sure you're all comfortable in your seats, but feel free, you can come closer. I'm told to have a lot of good energy. So if you'd like to get it easier, accessible to you, closer is best. But I'd like to call Harriet to the stage and have her share with you a little welcome and so on. So please welcome Mrs. Harriet Fulbright. I know it's formalities.
Okay. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here and to share this beginning of a new year with you. Um, I guess I would like to share with you a moment in my life which made a real change, which was a number of years ago when I was diagnosed with a cancer that they told me was both incurable and fatal, and therefore I should please put my affairs in order because a death was coming within 5 years. And not being very happy with that diagnosis, I spent the whole evening on the internet looking for a doctor who had this particular cancer in his description, and I found one in Massachusetts. And thanks to him, here I sit. Um, so I wanted to tell you that because there are many things in our lives, not nearly so monumental, that we often, and I'm including myself, say, oh, I've got to put up with it. You don't. What you really have to do is to think about your life and to figure out how you can make it the kind of life that is the one that you would like to live and the one that you would like to share with those around you whom you care about and care about a lot. Sometimes that looks impossible, but it's never impossible. It's always something that you can really deal with and get through to the other side. And I think the new year is the time when we can all think about those things which we think, oh, I have to live with this. And you really don't. Especially if it leads you to a better path. The path I took was one to get deeply involved in education, and it has been a most fulfilling part of my life. And I'm about to start a new college, as a matter of fact, for students come from overseas and land in this country. And I'm really looking forward to working on it with a very good friend of mine. So thank you so much for welcoming me here. Thank you very much, Sister Jenna. I really appreciate this opportunity, and I wish you all the very best for this coming 2015. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please. Harriet and I tend to find ourselves in the most unique places around the world. And sometimes we're not even aware that we're traveling to the same countries, and then we end up going, "What are you doing here?" We're like in Egypt, or we end up in Japan or something, and we're like, "What are you doing here?" And so there are times that you have a connection to a particular soul, and you're not quite sure of the story because you don't remember the details. And what I'd like to share with you in, today's sharing is more about spirituality and the importance of taking care of yourself in 2015. I spoke to someone this morning and she was sharing very passionately about the message of our morning class where the divine was saying, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, don't expect someone else to do it for you. You've got to pay attention to what your thoughts are telling you. Do you agree? Would that be a good resolution to make? Yeah? I think so. So I don't know if you've ever gotten the chance to see this wonderful poster of consciousness, but I would like to begin our research of how well am I taking care of myself based on these two levels of consciousness that lives inside of our souls. How many of you in the room are completely convinced that there is a life force sitting in your body? Okay. How many of you call that life force energy, light, soul, the being? Okay. So you're aware that there is something separate um, between the energy and the body, right? Do you believe there are two things existing? There's a physical body existing and there's an energy that's running the physical body. Would you agree? And if you don't, please tell me because I'm here to have a chit chat with you. All right? No answers are going to be wrong. I'm just trying to facilitate clarity for us. All right. How many of you own a car? How many of you wished you own a car? Tesla? Okay. How many of you have driven in your car recklessly? In a rush, running late for a meeting? How many of you have driven your car very calmly, peacefully, lovingly? You care about the other drivers that are sharing the highway with you. One person. Very good. I want to drive next to you. So it was interesting because, like, everyone's like, well, it depends on the day. So that's true. That's true. Very good point. So our physical bodies, it is like a car. And the energy sitting inside of the body is the driver to the car. Does that make sense? Is that really simple? So your being, the Atma, the light, the energy, the source of your life force, it is sitting inside of the body. And like whenever we drive a car, we drive from the front seat, not the back. So we sit somewhere particular in the car. We sit in the driver's seat. There's something called a steering wheel, gas, brakes. What do you call that thing that you call it? This is a race car driver who has no idea what's that called anymore. So the gears, right? So you have your gears in the car, correct? All right. So what's the first thing you do when you get into your car? You sit down, hopefully. And when you sit in your car, you sometimes are sort of conscious that there's enough fuel. Yeah? Yeah. So you generally like to keep your gas tank to a certain amount of fuel because you've got things to do in life. Without fuel, that car's not going to move. So the first thing you do is you get in your car, you sit, and there's an awareness. I hope I have enough gas. Or you kind of have an understanding. I already filled up the gas tank last night. And what you do next is that you take something called a key. If you have a Prius, you basically put your foot on the brake and you press a little button and the car starts up. If you have a key, you put the key in the car and you do something what's called you turn on the car, right? How do you turn on your consciousness? When you're sitting in the body, how do you actually turn on your life? How does that get turned on? Coffee. I agree. I agree with that. But there is something that we all need to get that energy flowing inside, right? It's a thought. The first thing you need to get your energy flowing is a thought, a quality thought. And your thoughts will determine how you choose to drive your vehicle called your body. Now, there are many models existing. There's a Harriet Fulbright model. There is a Myrna Fawcett model. There's a Santosh Parabonia, and he's not Spanish, model. There is a Sister Jenna model. It's the name of the car. It's the name of the model, but it's not the name of the soul. It's the name of the model. It is called your car, your body. It's a particular model. It's the way that you tend to move around with people and connect and go, "Oh, that model looks good. Well, that model looks like, needs some rims. That model needs a paint job." There's a lot of ways that we look at each other's cars, correct? But what's most important is the mentality of the driver in the model. When I was a teenager, I used to get a little uncomfortable, and this is with all respect to everyone in the room. But this is when I was ignorant, huh? So when I was a teenager, I used to get a little upset when I saw folks in South Beach who were like 80 driving a convertible Porsche. I used to be like, that is such a waste. I should be driving that while I was driving my old Toyota Jalopy that was barely making the other block. And it's interesting the way that we look at each other's models and determine how we think the driver or the person should be in that vehicle. Isn't that interesting? So we all come with interesting shapes, colors, sizes, forms, and we must adjust to that. We must accept that each person comes with their own style. It's just the way your car is made up. But what's most important is the driver in the car. What's most important is the driver sitting in your model. And some drivers drive very well, very respectful, and some really don't care about anyone else on the road. And some care too much, so they drive really slow and everyone else is blowing them. Move it, move it. They're too cautious. It's like everything needs some sort of a understanding and balance, huh? Are you with me? You following me so far? So you get in the car, the first thing you do, you sit. The first thing you do when you meditate, sit comfortably behind your eyes. That's where you're supposed to sit when you start to meditate. You don't need to go everywhere. You don't need to find a candlelight. You don't need to look for a guru. You don't need a scripture. You don't need an identity. You need a place to sit comfortably to do your meditation. So you go behind your eyes. That's your seat. Make sense? Okay. So when you sit behind your eyes, for you to turn on the ignition of feelings and consciousness and thought, one positive, pure thought of reality is needed to turn you up and on and ready to live life. So one of the most important thoughts that we teach here in Raja Yoga meditation, consider yourself to be a soul and remember God, the Supreme Soul. If you continue to maintain this practice, you'll always have fuel, energy. Consider yourself a soul, translated in basic language means, consider that love, peace, purity, truth, and joy is your original eternal identity. Does that make sense? Think about it. Love, Peace, purity, truth, and joy is your original identity. Whenever you sit and you turn on that ignition of consciousness, you've got to come from that place. And with you is the passenger. I know they say God is the co-pilot, so then people will say, then I'm in trouble because he should be the pilot and I don't mind being the co-pilot. But there's a reason why that sticker is so important. The energy of the divine has already taught us and given us what we need to do. It's just that we forget. And sometimes when we forget, he steps in and goes, okay, don't go that way. Go here. Do it like this. Don't do it like that. So the co-pilot is there to make sure the pilot is stewarding their lives effectively. But the most important thing is to be aware that the seat that you sit in is right behind your eyes. That's where you are supposed to be comfortably. Okay, ready? Turn your attention behind your eyes. Just an awareness. It is just an awareness. It is just your attention is now focused behind your eyes. Try to see if you can practice this with your eyes opened. Keep your eyes gently opened and focus your attention behind your eyes. Observe how it feels when you're focusing behind your eyes versus through your eyes. Is there a difference? Focusing your attention behind your eyes, is there a difference in the way you interpret your feelings and yourself? Versus focusing outside of your eyes and defining your world based on only what you see, touch, and smell. See me, see this place, see the camera, see the lights, see the tree, see the screen. Get outside behind your eyes now and go outside of your eyes. Which one feels easier? The one outside. Okay. Let's try and go to the world behind the eyes once again. Leave your eyes opened. Turn your attention behind your eyes and become aware that you're seated right here behind your eyes as an energy of consciousness, and that your energy is peaceful, pure, and loving. If you're able to feel any of this, just nod your head gently. If you're not able to feel it, just go left and right for me. Okay. I would like you to emerge a room. It is a room with a door. For those who went like this, left and right, no. I'd like you to emerge a room with a door. And you are standing outside of that door. And you slowly open the door and enter into the space. And the only thing in that room is light, like a sunlight. It's a sunlit room. It's warm. It's quiet. And it has this essence of love in it. There are no pictures. There are no sounds. I'm inviting you to just sit on the floor in that room and be still. Are you able to feel an element of stillness as you sit in this room? Okay. So what that says to me is that you're more of a conceptual person to gain your experiences. It's not that it's impossible for you to feel peace or stillness or quietude. It's just that you haven't found a way to get to those feelings. Some of us have the ability to experience things just abstract. You know, just give me an energy of consciousness and I can feel it. So we just tried two things. One that was physically connected to our life stories, and another one that was a little bit more abstract. But we could still feel something that was different. Yes? Like a little silence, a little peace, a little love, a little safety, a little something. All right, good. Simple meditation. In the year 2015, I think it's so imperative for us to practice more of this. For those of you who find it easy to feel because you look outside of your eyes, you ready to do an experiment? If you govern your internal story to be more influenced by your external world, what if this building were to crumble? Would you be able to withstand it? No. What if there is a huge hurricane and a huge storm outside and your eyes are seeing the the calamity of the nature? Would you be able to stand looking at it? What if you saw somebody very close to you get hurt? Would you be able to tolerate it? No, because I'm too visual. I live my life too much from the external forces rather than my inner force of strength and power. The reason why we struggle a lot is that too much of our inner energy is focused outside of ourselves. In order to stop struggling, come more from inside of the self and bring that outside. So for example, for those of you who went in the room and sat and was calm, when you got up and if you were to leave the room, you could leave that room with a more calm feeling because you have created that feeling for yourself. It's easier for you. Okay. Easy? You're sitting in the car, you've turned on the key. The key of thought is consider yourself a soul, remember the supreme energy, and get some life into your system. Okay. The next thing is that you've got somewhere to go, right? You're just not going to sit in your car just with the engine running, are you? You want to go somewhere in life. You want to do something. You want a story to unfold for you. What are your plans for 2015? Where are you planning to go this year? Planning to go anywhere? Are you planning to go anywhere here? Or are you planning to go somewhere here? Planning to travel anywhere this year? Yeah. So any plans to go to Hawaii? Any plans to go to the Caribbean? Any plans to go to India? No. Okay. Any plans to visit relatives and family members? Okay. So that's our reminder to pause for a moment of silence in the midst of everything that you're doing. Drop it from your mind and become an energy of peace and send those vibrations wherever you are, peacefully, everywhere. Okay. So there are two ways that we learn and live our lives. We hear a lot, but we see a lot. We're more influenced by what we see than what we hear. We did this exercise this morning, and I'd like you to put your thumb and this finger together. And I'd like you to follow my instructions. I'd like you to put the circle that you've created on your cheek. On your cheek. There you go. There you go. Aha. Exactly. We are very influenced by what we see, not what we hear. So a lot of times we see ourselves doing a lot of things in 2015, right? And a lot of times we don't even hear really what we really want. We don't hear deeply what we're supposed to really be doing with our lives. Yeah? So in 2015, we get a lot of influences of things on the outside, and it interferes with what I really want to hear my heart tell me I deserve in 2015. So let's take a look at this peacefully and see how we can understand the level of consciousness that we're living in. When you study Raja Yoga meditation, or spirituality, at least here, our aim is to make you become yourself here. I'm not quite sure of all the other practices that exist, if they're doing the same thing, but we are here pretty much focused on bringing you back to your soul conscious awareness. Let's take a look at what it means to be you. Ready? If you are soul aware or soul conscious, you feel comfortable inside of yourself no matter what. I want you to take a little of a record inside as I read these out for you. On a scale from 1 to 10, how true is that for you, with 10 being the highest? When you have forgotten who you are, you feel anxious and you get uptight. On a scale from 1 to 10, how true is that? You rate yourself. Anyone anxious and uptight on the 1st of January? When you are comfortable in yourself and you're soul aware, your thoughts would be that your heart is opened and loving. Your heart is opened and loving. And when you're not aware of yourself, you are grumpy and short-tempered. When you are aware of who you are, you love yourself. And when you don't, you turn your friends into enemies. How many of you gossip about your friends and stuff? When you are spiritually in alignment with your purpose, God becomes your best friend. When you are not, you are out of harmony with your own body. I don't feel good. Everything aches. Your confidence and your self-respect soars when you're in touch with your real self. And when you're not, you have too many expectations of others and even of yourself. Does that make sense? So when we're in a state of forgetfulness and we're not in touch with our original resolution, you waste time, energy, and money being indecisive. When you are in touch with yourself, you live your life with meaning. These are the thoughts to get your car running. Keep it going. Consider yourself a soul. Remember the energy of the divine, and you will travel happily in your vehicle in 2015. And why God as the co pilot is so important? He's like the charge machine, He's like the gas station. You need to get to places, you're going to need energy. If you don't have energy, you will not be able to get to your destination. And you will feel that your happiness isn't lasting. You will feel that you criticize and find fault with everyone. You will feel like you are motivated only by short term desires. You will feel very defensive. Your listening skills to feel the heart of others will be less because the energy in the soul is less. So 2015 is a year of upping your energy. So the thought is, are you willing to embrace the stories of others? Or are you willing to still stay in your comfort zones? Thoughts to share, anyone? Are you willing to embrace the stories of others? In other words, listen with care. It doesn't have to become your own. Just listen with care. Or are you willing to stay exactly where you've been? On your chair was a little card, and on the back of the card is an inspiration wall. We would like to invite you to write your inspiration and resolution for 2015 whilst you are in the meditation museum reflecting on these thoughts. If you need a pen, just put your hand up and we will bring one to you. Nancy will get about 10. Okay. We will bring a pen to you, not to worry. So on the back of the card is your inspiration. And what we'd like you to do is to ponder on the thoughts that I just shared openly, that you're now in your car, you're in your body, you're ready to go. It's a whole new year. You've got something to do, you've got a place to go. But in what awareness are you going to travel? How would you like your soul conscious self to be in 2015? What's the type of person that you would really love to emanate throughout this whole year and beyond? Do this in a meditative state. There is no rush. And after this, we'll do a little experiment. David, could you play some soft music in the back? It's already turned on the iPod. Were you a little bit overcritical? Were you uncertain about your own abilities? Were you angry a lot last year? Last year, were you attached to an unfulfilled expectation? And are you rolling over that habit to 2015? What's getting in your way? Take your time. Please know you are at all not in a rush for this experiment. But when you are done, just nod your head so we can move into the next experimentation of today's sharing. No rush. Those thoughts that you place on your inspiration wall are very important today. They mean a lot to you. Because with your inspirational wall card, you're going to keep that with you every day and review it every day. So you stay clear. And when you're ready, feel free to gently rest your eyes on the meditation monitor that's to my right, your left. So I'll be able to get a signal to know when to continue to the next stage. Whilst you're looking on the meditation monitor, consider the thoughts that you've just placed on your magical inspiration wall. That which will come to be true for you. One of the interesting things about life is that when we actually ask for something, the next stage of asking is to deal with it when it actually comes. What's it going to be like when you actually live out what you declared you were going to do in 2015? Just keep looking on the meditation monitor to my right, which is your left. What's it going to be like when you actually get your wish fulfilled? Can you immerse that feeling inside of you right now? You won't let your promise to yourself slip away too quickly today, will you? Observe your whole spiritual energy becoming free, light, pure. Just naturally what it once used to be. You're on a journey, aren't you? Okay. I'd like you to find a partner or person next to you. We're going to play a little game. It's called Catch Yourself. Catch yourself. And it's a resolution. It's a promise that you've made. And a lot of times you let your very meaningful promises slip away too quickly. And find a partner, and then I'll be able to give you the experiment. Because I'll need each one of you to do this with your right hand, one finger up, which is to the divine, to God, and the other one flat out like this on your palm, which is, this is the state that I'm in, right? Because a situation will come and it will challenge you. And that situation might make you forget your resolution. What I'm trying to say is, this is how slippery your resolutions can be. If I say, resolution, you gotta get up. The moral of this is, you gotta keep your connection. Because people and situations will grab you this year. That's the moral of this exercise. It's easy to get grabbed by somebody else's story. Are you ready one more time? Remembrance of the one. Karmic stories are here. You're bumping into people. Resolution! It is so simple. It's amazing because, okay, let's say that you're married to the same person for too long. Let's say that you're working in the same job for too long. Let's say you've got the same supervisor for way too long. When are they going to get promoted already? Right?
Are you going to get from
When am I going to get promoted? So So, I'm sorry, Santosh, I keep forgetting you're filming. So, what happens is, let's say that you promised you weren't going to go back there. But you did, because you slipped. And you forgot your connection with the one that will liberate you and tell you that is not the way to go. You find yourself, you're trapped again by that same karmic story. What's up with that? And it's that instant. Because the situations come to you in an instant. They don't tell you, oh, by the way, Harriet, on January 3rd at 1:30, I shall come and give you the greatest challenge of your life. When's the last time it did that to you? Never does. It never does. Okay. So could you please be mindful of this in 2015? Can you keep the source of God's remembrance very clearly connected? Stay connected. Stay connected. The energy of God's love becomes your source of power and fuel to overcome your issues for the year. A lack of love gets you trapped. A lack of love this year will get you trapped. To liberate ourselves from the body awareness, let me read a few more. You are dependent on physical support systems. You are easily bored and lonely. Anyone here like that? Happiness eludes you. You tend to be overly sensitive and touchy. You have offensive personal habits. You find it hard to let go. You lack integrity. When you watch yourself, you seem to be possessive and jealous. You're constantly looking for approval from others. In 2015, we can't allow ourselves to get caught there anymore. Do you get that? It's either allowing yourself to be caught in body awareness or staying connected to the source of goodness, the energy of the divine. Sign up for either departments of consciousness, but you're going to have to live in one of them. The one with light or the one with the trapping. Okay. I'd like you to find someone that you don't know in the room. And I'd like you to take the next 5 or 7 minutes to share your resolution to that person and why you decided to declare that as your resolution for 2015. And then we will do one more meditation. I know for those of you who are attached to the hip, go find somebody else. Come on, exercise. Get out of the room. You want me to help you?
You didn't fill out a card?
I'm about to start a new job. I have started. I've been on the job for 1 week.
Well, I have a big project that I'm
Because of the vacation, I have 2 weeks vacation. It's teaching work, so I'll start back again. I'm excited for that. I'm really looking forward to the job.
I said I expect
The week that I spent in there, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to be able to deal with this? And I know that I'm going to be dealing with some very difficult standards. Because of my job, I want my kids to have right kids. I don't have stuff set up really. And then I've got to go in on January 5th and start it. And so it's just been on my mind to get it. Is that right? I have a lot of great I would want to like caring for myself for money, and money is like the day after tomorrow. And so I basically said, that's the job. Then I find myself doubting. That's my thing. And I also would like to come here to the meditation with him early on Saturday. We can have a show. So the next step is here every Saturday. But I haven't been able to that. I don't even know what the next step is. Right. So
My friend
welcome back. How was that? Was that fun to share your meaningful lives with a, you might call a stranger, what I would call just another global member from my family? Really, when you think about it at that higher level. Now, I'm going to test you just one more bit. Okay, ready? Remember this. Okay. I'd like to invite you to go into the zone of imagining your life where you are feeling the energy of this love just all over you. Take a moment, and I'd like you to go there and just feel the love of this pure energy all over you. It's just, it's in you, it's for you, it is about you, it is to you. Okay? And if I were to actually ask you to share your resolution now to somebody, guess what? It'll sound completely different. To the person that you were talking to from this place, in one sentence, just tell them what that resolution was and just watch yourself how it feels. Example, prior to what we were talking about, the whole encyclopedia before I came back on the stage, if I go in remembrance of the one above, right, and I'm pulling the love in, and I go to Harriet and I go, Harriet, my resolution will be to be as loving as I possibly can be. Can you do that to the person that you were meeting just now? Just one sentence. First, get into your feeling with your love for God. Then, speak to the person. I know. It's a new year, everybody. It's got to be a little different. Okay? Get into the feeling. There's a soul, there's an energy, there's a source that is like the sun rays. It's constantly giving light. I just have to allow myself to get under it to feel it. Stop trying to turn my back to it. When you feel the love of the one, then tell the person that you were talking to earlier your resolution in one sentence. And with that meaning. Your own resolution. No, your resolution. Yeah, your resolution. Remember, I have to let this happen for you for 2015. It's got to happen. Or else you're not going to like me by December 31st, 2015. Julio, please press the gong, press the sacred bell, hit it. And then when you're ready, go into your remembrance of God's love. Turn to the person that you were talking to earlier in one sentence with meaning. Tell them your resolution. Julio? It changes the meaning. Please tell the person in one sentence, not a book. It's a little hot. Could you turn on the air conditioner? Doesn't it feel differently? Okay. The reason why I did this for you is when you are in remembrance of love, you speak less. Did you know that? Now you do, right? When love is coming through your energy field, you will speak less. In other words, you will not speak to seek approval from anyone. You will speak from your place of meaning. And you'll be supporting your soul awareness rather than this. Did you feel the difference? Did you feel how uncomplicated it was? But did you also feel how much of a little challenge it was to put your life story in one sentence? You don't have to prove anything to anyone outside of you. 2015 has to be your year to live you authentically and meaningfully. Okay? So when you're living with meaning, no human being will become your enemy. Even if they don't like you, it is the role that they're currently playing, but it's not personal. Don't take the like or the dislikes that folks have for you too personally. Folks are actually trying to get rid of their rubbish. It's just that we're getting into the habit of picking it up. Not 2015. Don't do that. Just today, I had to grab someone because I saw them leaving in a little bit of a state. And I grabbed them. I go, don't start that up. It's 2015. Well, don't go there. It's just don't. Don't go into the expansion anymore. It hurts you. If I'm not in the zone of love, I will say one thing and do another. If I'm not in the zone of power of love, I will tire very easily. Who washed 4 dishes and just felt tired after the third one? It's a state of mind. When the love is less, your mind gets scattered. It feels cluttered. I can't be clear. When you're in the state of your humanness, there's a feeling that people will have like they can't rely on you. You're not dependable. When you're in that mode of forgetfulness, you have a lot of mood swings. Sometimes you ever walked into the office and you look at the boss, is he in a good mood today? Because you're not quite sure what's going to come out, you know? So you're like, you know what? He needs to play his part. I know my job. Right? This is very important. A lot of us depend on money to keep life going. And we wonder why we never have enough of it or why does it leave our hands. When we're in that body awareness and body consciousness, good fortune stays away from you. There's a feeling that you're never satisfied with whatever you have. You need more. So now that we know these ideas, right, and this level of awareness, we become accountable in investing in either this or do I stay true to my resolution? Okay? All right. Something that's really important to us here at the Brahma Kumaris is in 2015 we would love for you to make animals your best friends and try not to eat them. No, it's okay. I mean, you have to do your thing, but can you try to reduce hurting them, like in 2015, and just eat more vegetables and less something with a soul? That includes those cute little shrimps. I know. It's painful, but you know what? They're living. You're a non-violent warrior when you're spiritual. Your head and your heart move as one. It's not that your head's always trying to catch up to your heart. So when your head is trying to catch up to your heart, you're very logical. You analyze everything, and you just let the heart sit there waiting for you to get it. You respect your body and you treat it well. And last and not least, your future is so bright you have to wear sunglasses. Please, let everyone see her. Her future is so bright, she has to wear sunglasses in the museum. So we thank you so much, and I hope that this was meaningful for you, and it touched something important for you. What are you going to maybe take away from today's sharing? Any thoughts from anyone? Anybody? What are you taking away from today's sharing? Connection to source. Good. Anyone else? Good. I did a great job. Fantastic. I think it's next week, the first Monday of this month. The Raj Yoga New Beginnings has this poster there. So if you'd like to revisit some of the thoughts and print it out and put it up, please do. Feel free to tweet it out, but tell your friends where you got it from so that they can maybe come to find more clarity in how to be better people. And so we look forward to that. Keep your eyes open for our new location. If you happen to bump into a building that looks affordable, thank you. Just give us a call. We'll be happy to go and take a look at it. And you get an idea. It's got to be over 1,200 or 1,300 square feet so we can continue or expand, all right? So thank you all for coming. Happy, happy New Year. Happy New Year. So we'll do a lovely meditation before we close off. And we've got these incredible chocolates from the UK. Yum. Did anyone plan to give up chocolate this year? Good. Did anyone plan to eat a lot of chocolate this year? Oh, there you go. So we're fulfilling one promise so far. All right, so let's do a nice meditation on, which is the one that we have that's, um, yeah, well, letting go, everyone sees that one. Let's try the song, The Message Home by Bliss, and we'll keep the video playing. Please feel free to come by whenever you're in town. You don't have to come at all of our programs. As you know, we're open from 11 to 6, Monday through Saturday. So just hop in, take a few moments in the quiet room. Like today I was supposed to go and see Harriet, didn't know I had to do the talk today. And I said, could you come and see me? And sent a ride, came over, and it was so nice to hear her sharing today. And when I always was sharing with Suja, I love to listen to voices of wisdom because they've lived so much and they have so many stories there. They can tell you a lot and can help you to not do the same mistakes that they did. So there are these, special friends in the world. We have to honor them. Sign up for the Raj Yoga meditation class if you haven't done so as yet, and try to figure out how to conquer this and be this. How many of you know about the America Meditating Radio Show? Okay. Please feel free, if you'd like to listen to the wonderful programs on our radio show, just download the free app called Pause for Peace, or you can go to Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn, or on the America Meditating Blog Talk site, and you could hear a lot of beautiful conversations that I have with a lot of interesting people around the world. So you get a chance to do that. How many of you have a chance to visit the Huffington Post? Try to download it. I blog and write for them, so I'm constantly having articles on there. Just search for Sister Jenna, and you'll see some of the latest updated ones on current issues that I write about and how to spiritually respond to them. And you can also see the Huffington Post article from the app as well. But feel free to keep in touch. Remember? What was that? Wonderful. That's a good way to keep in touch. Remember this? So we're influenced a lot by what we see. So if you keep seeing goodness, then even though you hear negativity, it won't get too much into you. So feel free to keep seeing us on all these social media exchanges. Okay, so let's do our meditation. You and I will come around your chair, and we will offer you gifts from the Meditation Museum and a treat.
I've walked between heaven and hell, lived in the shadows I knew so well, been scared and let down, and wandered from my truth, and I'm sending this message home. I've been blinded by fortune and fame, best friends so I could learn who I am. And I'm sending this message home. Got the angels beside me, children all around me, and the Father is at my feet. Got my fingers in the sockets, diamonds in my pockets, and the mother, she comforts me. Mother, she comforts me. Heard all the lies that these wise